The following events are completely fictional and are meant for entertainment purposes only. Don't worry if you don't get it at first. You'll get there eventually. Probably.
In order to get to know someone, you need to take a walk in their shoes. See how it is to be them. I myself wear a 10.5 for those looking to further understand me. Enter Vita. Students, this week is Volatile Lunch Week. Both students and staff should expect to have the sensation of hot lead being poured through their digestive system Monday through Friday. Of course, the school will not be liable for any ensuing bodily damage. In fact, no one will be liable. Not even you. Liability is both an irrelevant social construct and the least of your concerns. I have on the phone with me now, Head of School Nutrition, Dakota Winters. Hey there, Dakota.
Right back at you, Julian.
Let's get down to it. Why is the school lunch making us feel this way?
Well, first off, I'd like to say that you made our delicious meals seem very unsafe in your description earlier.
My apologies.
And the reason you have such a strong feeling inside of you after consumption is simply because of the sheer nutrition your body is getting.
So when the food has been seen to cause vomiting and spontaneous bleeding...
That's just because those students have never eaten something so nutritious, and their bodies simply don't know how to handle it.
And the heavily discolored fumes coming from the kitchen are...
nutritional fumes.
Well, students, there you have it. The school lunch is completely safe to eat and 100% non-toxic. Now let's take a look at classes. This week we're examining the vast multitude of art courses Vita High School has to offer. Let's see here. Well, students, it appears Vita High School has only one art class. Something called painting. I'm not really sure what this mysterious subject is, but it certainly sounds interesting. If you have a passion for the arts, which I know all of you do as it is required by school management, sign up for this class. Spots are limited to whoever can throat sing the loudest. This week's show will spotlight the still new kid, a still exciting addition to Vita High School. Students, I am very curious to find out more about this member of our community. Not from a personal standpoint, of course, but from the standpoint of the media. It is my duty to report on issues of significance, and by personal determination, I've decided that this is an issue of significance. I've sent out my producer, Omar, to go and see what he can find out about this mysterious and incredibly good-looking new student. Let's move on to the weather. Monday's weather will be windy. Hold on to your school-regulated sun hats. Losing them will result in a very unpleasant experience. If you do lose your mandated sun hat as a result of the forecasted strong winds, cry silently, while also trying not to cry. Tuesday's weather will be warm, then cool, then warm, then cool, then warm. Wednesday's weather will be economic growth. Thursday's and Friday's weathers will be opposites of each other. Thursday and Friday are working through something right now. Let them work it out. Saturday's weather is just going to be quiet in order to give Thursday and Friday some space. Sunday will have clouds in the sky and a sun in an atmosphere and a temperature. We have an update on the events of Volatile Lunch Week. Reporters for the radio station went down to the cafeteria in order to get more information on this developing story. Also, they were really hungry and had eaten all of the station granola bars. Reports say that the cafeteria cooks were spotted tasting the prepared dishes and going, yummy lunch, as they poured vats of glowing liquid into large black pots for boiling. Cackling was also heard, as well as spellcasting. Well, we think it was spellcasting. It's been a while since the reporters have seen Space Jam, so we think it was spellcasting. They have just listened for things that sound like country music anyways. After seeing such enticing hallmarks of established culinary talent, many of the station reporters began to wolf down any school meals they could find. Some of them began to inflate like balloons and float up to the ceiling. Others began to flash bright colors like nightmarish stoplights while playing old Katy Perry songs in Swahili. More on this story as it develops. Now it's time for club announcements. There are two men. Both are middle-aged, and both are nervous. but have the outward appearance of casually concerned. In between them is a small, square table of little significance. They sit upon weapons of mass destruction, the atomic bomb. Both are afraid of its capabilities, despite their bravado in declaring their potential usage of it. The two men have their right arms gripping each other, elbows resting on the table. Their left arms are poised delicately above buttons that appear to trigger the atomic bomb the other is sitting upon. The left hand shake, one finger carefully outstretched, mere inches above the switch of mass destruction. Their brows are furrowed and dripping with sweat. Their eyes are narrow and focused. These men are loved and they are hated. The weight of the world rests on their shoulders, and their posture is hunched with stress and pressure. One man, the man who is bald, seems to be feeling the combined force of the world and the man across from him, even more than his opponent. He perspires profusely, but presses on. The nation washes with anticipation as the members of the Amateur Rocket Club make the final move. Thank you for listening to this week's club announcements. There is an incoming update on the new student at Vita High School. He apparently actually has a name. His name is Arthur. Not like Arthur, the hit early 2000s TV show, but Arthur, as in the language derivative from the name Arthur, the hit early 2000s TV show. Arthur has found himself with heightened popularity following the radio show Spotlight. He plans to use his newfound extensive social network to propel himself in the race for class president. Now, students, I don't know about you, and frankly, in this matter, I don't really care about your input, but I will be throwing all of my support behind Arthur. His brilliant ocean eyes and cascade of soft chestnut hair, combined with his porcelain white teeth, make him the excellent candidate to lead us in the new school year. Voting starts soon, so be sure to be well informed about all of the potential candidates. Let's take a break for this show's sponsor. And now, a message from this show's sponsor. There once was a house. It wasn't too big or too small. It wasn't too wide or too tall. It was painted a perfectly neutral color, with perfectly symmetrical windows and framing. This house was the last house. It lay alone in a world without us. It lay alone in a world without you. Outside of the house was nothing. Inside of the house was everything. Inside of the house with the walls were painted a neutral color. Inside the house was everything that is in that moment. Inside of the house were faded memories and long-forgotten ideas. The house, while structurally sound, is figuratively falling apart. Its oak beams are still strong, its stone foundation solid, but the things that are unseen that are associated with the house are fading away. Soon they will be gone, and with it, the existence of the house. Lowe's. Do it right for less. Students, volatile lunch week is coming to a close. Most of us have survived. Some of us will only be okay. Despite suffering third-degree burns on their stomach lining, those that consumed the still presumed to be delicious school lunch that ate version CX-19 are actually even better than before. Mostly. Those that became balloons slowly deflated until they were able to stand upon the ground again, much to their disappointment, as they actually found being balloons to be quite enjoyable. The cafeteria cooks, thoroughly satisfied with their work, hopped on their broomsticks and flew away into the crisp autumn night. Distant cackling could be heard, as well as what sounds like the emphatic high fives. What lovely people. They flew out and away over the surrounding lands that crossed dark forests illuminated by the glow of a full moon. A cool breeze picks up the falling dead leaves and carries them along, dropping a few here and there, all the while stirring the dense but fading branches of the trees. A raven in the distance caws. It echoes across towns and buildings and people like me, who are telling you about the world outside this very moment. The outside world is a beautiful place, students. It is full of things, and many of these things are good. You are good. I know it. Good night, Hey Vita. Until I speak again.
The voice of Hey Vita is Julian Milan. Hey Vita is written by Julian Milan, Amir White, and James Stevens, and is produced by James Stevens. This work is entirely satirical, and any resemblance to actual people or events is purely coincidental.